Welcome to another Telltale Books video. I'm Greg, and I'm continuing my Hal Clement series in this video with his 8th published work, story titled Cold Front. This was a novelette published in Astounding Science Fiction in July of 1946, and I have that issue of Astounding here. It's the cover story. Cover, if I'm remembering correctly, is William Timmons did the cover art. Um, I I normally don't care a lot for William Timmons' work, but this one I think is really good, especially after reading the story and seeing how it fits with the story. I thought it was a really good illustration. Um, Not a lot to it, kind of simple, kind of simply painted, but still impactful on the cover, I think. So Cold Front has a future where man has gone out, colonized other planets, met with other alien civilizations, still has a basic capitalist system, and there are companies that go around looking to um, profit from doing business with alien worlds. And in particular, this company tries to sell machinery, different types of machinery, but in the case of the world that we're dealing with in this story, they want to sell machinery that allows anybody, any creatures, to control the weather of their planet. And so these two guys go to try to negotiate a sale with this alien civilization. And so they start talking to him, learning all about the aliens' capabilities with weather control, because the aliens are controlling their own weather to some extent. At least they have a very sophisticated system of predicting the weather. And they have kind of a unique situation with their planet. A lot of the surface of their planet is too cold for them to live in. And so a lot of the land area of their planet they can't use. So they're kind of limited in expanding their civilization on their planet. And the aliens are very interested in finding out what the humans can do for them. So they want to talk to them. So they initiate talks, but the aliens start to realize that the humans, they're only looking at the planet's weather in telling them what could be done. They're not looking at the whole picture. I'm gonna I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert here. I'm gonna go on and talk a little bit about just why they're kind of laughing at the humans for only looking at the planet's meteorology and not more than that. This planet orbits a red star, so it's a cooler star, probably a larger star, and it happens to have some kind of a cloud or debris field that during certain times of the year blocks light from getting to the surface of this planet. And that has a huge effect on their weather. And so they're laughing at the humans because the humans aren't even looking at this. They aren't even taking into account that there's astronomical effects on the weather. Now, this is 1946. Today, we know very well that the sun does have some effect on our weather. And I think meteorologists do watch things like sunspots a little bit to aid in predicting weather. Um, Maybe not as deeply as is necessary on this particular planet, but the point Hal Clement is trying to make here, though, is that weather, at least on this planet, is impacted heavily by the situation of the star that this planet is orbiting. And so, what happens out in space can definitely have an impact on the climate and weather on the surface of a planet. And so, the story is a little bit of a science lesson. You don't get strong characters here, though they're not bad, but they're really just going through this the science lesson. What's mostly interesting is the world building. This is world building science fiction done right. Clement was the master of this. He did a great job. Back then nobody excelled Clement at building believable worlds and unique worlds like this. And that's what makes the story um, compelling and readable today, though, because it is so science and idea focused without much else to the story. I really think the average reader today is not going to care for that. I don't think I can give this top tail for that reason. It's not one of Clement's very best works, and it's not something that the average reader is going to be able to get into today. You have to be a lot more science minded with this one. But beyond that, a very interesting point is that in the story, the two Earthmen are talking about how on Earth they manipulated the climate to gain more livable area, livable landmass, usable landmass on the Earth by warming up the climate. They purposely initiated global warming to raise the temperature of the Earth a few degrees so that the ice caps would melt and they would have more usable landmass. Very interesting to say that. And these characters are looking to do the same on this alien world. They're looking to raise the temperature, the average temperature around this planet in order to melt the ice caps and give them more land mass to use. So a little bit laughable from today's perspective, seeing as we today see the melting of the ice caps as a problem because it will actually flood coastal cities, and we have been seeing some problems already along some coastal areas with the raising of the seawater. So little naive perspective to think that it's so simple that you raise the temperature and you gain all that extra land mass. You just might lose land mass if you got a lot of oceans. Overall, I thought it wasn't a very interesting story, but very definitely a science fiction story. And so if you're not heavily into the science, you're going to probably find this a little dry. So definitely for the more scientifically minded, definitely for the people that are more into golden age science fiction, probably will appreciate this story. And so I'd like to know what you think. Have you read Cold Front? Like I say, it's available in this issue of Astounding, which is also available as a PDF online, and it is in volume 2 of the Essential Hal Clement from Nashville Press, Music of the Spheres. They have a 3-volume series of the Essential Hal Clement, which is really, really great books if you're into Hal Clement's fiction. You should get all 3. And I like my copies very much. But anyway, If you've read the story, leave your comments. Tell us what you think. Did you love the story? Did you hate the story? Why did you love it or hate it? And come on back for more. We're going to continue Hal Clement with Assumption Unjustified, his 9th story, coming up before too long. And until then, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in our next video.